Not because you're quiet, but because they can't control you anymore. The world teaches you to speak, to explain yourself, to defend your choices. But no one warns you what explaining really costs. Machiavelli did. And what he understood about silence is why some men are feared without saying a word. Most men think power comes from speaking louder, from proving their point, from winning arguments. That's a lie. Power begins the moment you stop needing to be understood. The moment you explain yourself, you give people access. Access to your thinking, access to your emotions, access to your limits. And once people know your limits, they push them. Silence blocks that access. When you don't explain, people are forced to guess. And when people guess, fear enters. Fear of being wrong, fear of misreading you, fear of stepping out of line. That fear gives you leverage. Look around. The men who talk the most are rarely respected. They are debated, they are challenged, they are tested. But the quiet man, people watch him carefully. They choose words slowly. They hesitate. Because silence makes a man unpredictable, and unpredictability is dangerous. Machiavelli understood this brutal truth. Men are easier to control when they believe they understand you. That's why rulers never revealed their full intentions. That's why powerful men spoke less and watched more. They let others expose themselves first. When you stay silent in a room, something strange happens. Others start talking more. They justify themselves. They overshare. They reveal motives without realizing it. You gain information without giving any. That is silent power. Most men lose control because they are reactive. They respond instantly. They argue emotionally. They explain to protect their ego. But reaction is weakness. Silence creates space, and space creates control. Think about conflict. The man who explodes loses leverage. The man who stays calm forces the other to reveal their hand. Anger gives information. Silence takes it. Silence also destroys manipulation. Manipulation needs emotion, needs reaction, needs engagement. When you don't react, manipulation collapses. There is nothing to pull, nothing to twist, nothing to control. This is why silence feels uncomfortable, because silence removes the illusion of safety. People don't know where they stand with you. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how to predict you. And humans hate uncertainty. The quiet man becomes a mirror. Others see themselves in him, their fear, their intentions, their insecurity, and they project it onto you. That projection becomes respect or fear. Either way, control shifts to you. Silence does not mean weakness. It means restraint. It means you choose when to speak, why to speak, and who deserves your words. That choice alone separates leaders from followers. Most men speak to feel powerful. Powerful men speak only when necessary. And the most dangerous men, they let silence do the damage. Silence is not emptiness. It is pressure. Pressure that forces others to expose themselves. Pressure that protects your inner world. Once you understand this, you can never unlearn it. And once you stop explaining yourself, the world starts adjusting to you. Silence doesn't confuse weak minds. It terrifies them, because fear is born the moment control disappears. Human beings are obsessed with control, not power. Control. Control over outcomes, control over people, control over how things should go. And silence is the enemy of control. When you explain yourself, you give people a map. They know where you stand. They know what to expect. They know how to push, pull, and pressure you. But silence burns the map. This is where fear begins. Not the loud kind, not panic, but quiet psychological fear. The kind that makes people watch you closely. The kind that keeps them guessing. The kind that forces them to adjust their behavior around you. That is power without effort. Machiavelli understood one brutal truth. Men fear what they cannot predict more than what they openly hate. Hatred has shape. Anger has limits. But uncertainty has no edges when you don't explain. People fill the gap themselves. And here's the secret. They never fill it with calm thoughts. They fill it with their own fears. They assume intention. They imagine strategy. They suspect dominance. You didn't do anything, but their mind did the work for you. This is why silence works in every environment. At work, in friendships, in conflict, in relationships. Because silence removes emotional safety. Let's talk psychology. The human brain hates unfinished stories. It craves closure. When you stay silent, you create an open loop, and the brain becomes restless. That restlessness shows up as overthinking, anxiety, defensive behavior, people talking too much. They try to regain control, and in trying, they expose themselves. Watch it happen. You stay calm. You don't react. You don't explain. Suddenly the other person starts justifying, starts overtalking, starts revealing motives. They tell you everything because silence pressures them to speak. This is why interrogation rooms use silence. This is why powerful negotiators pause. This is why leaders don't rush to respond. Silence makes people uncomfortable. And discomfort makes them lose discipline. Most men fail here. They mistake discomfort for danger. So they rush to fix it. They speak to ease tension. They explain to calm the room. They react to protect their ego, and in doing so, they hand over control. Fear only works one way. The man who fears silence explains. The man who understands silence controls. There's another layer. Silence also filters people. Weak minds demand explanation. Strong minds respect restraint. Those who get angry at your silence are the ones who wanted access to you. Those who pressure you to explain are the ones trying to position themselves above you. Silence exposes intention. This is why silence feels lonely. Because once you stop explaining, many people disappear. They were never there for you. They were there for access. And silence closed the door. Machiavelli warned that power isolates, not because power pushes people away, but because it removes dependency. You no longer need approval. You no longer seek validation. You no longer react to emotional bait. That independence unsettles people. Fear grows when people realize they can't read you, they can't predict you, they can't control your emotions. And emotional control is the foundation of manipulation. Remove that and manipulation collapses. The silent man becomes difficult to move, not because he resists, but because he doesn't give leverage. No words to twist, no reactions to provoke, no explanations to weaponize. Just calm. And calm is terrifying in a world addicted to noise. Silence is not passive. It is active restraint. It forces others to act first, to reveal first, to expose themselves first. And once they do, the power dynamic is already decided. Silence isn't weakness. It's a test, and most people fail at. Silence only scares people when it's deliberate. Not the silence of confusion, not the silence of fear, but the silence of control. The silence that says, I see everything, and I don't need to respond. Let's bring this into the real world. Because theory is cheap, power is practical. 1. Silence in conflict. Most men lose control the moment conflict appears. Someone questions them, disrespects them, pushes their buttons, and instinct kicks in. They explain, they defend, they justify. That reaction feels strong, but it's actually surrender. Because the first man to react is the first man to lose position. Machiavelli understood this clearly. He who reacts emotionally reveals his weakness before his strength. Silence flips the dynamic. When you don't respond immediately, the attacker doubts himself. The room shifts attention. Tension turns inward. No, they are uncomfortable. Watch closely. The person who attacked you starts repeating themselves, raises their voice, over-explains you, because they didn't get the reaction they expected. And unmet expectations create anxiety. Silence turns aggression into exposure. You didn't fight. You didn't submit. You waited. And waiting is dominance. 2. Silence in work and status at work. Men destroy themselves with words. They over-explain decisions. They justify boundaries. They defend competence. But authority does not explain itself. It assumes position. When you speak less, your words gain weight. People listen harder. Your presence increases. This is why leaders pause before answering. Not because they're unsure, but because silence creates gravity. The fastest way to lose respect at work is to explain everything you do. It signals, I need you to agree. Power never asks for agreement. It assumes alignment. Silence also exposes politics. When you don't explain, people reveal intent. Who pushes you, who pressures you, who respects your space. Information flows towards silence. Noise repels it. 3. Silence in relationships. This is where most men fail. They think silence means distance, coldness, loss. But silence, used correctly, creates attraction. Overcommunication kills desire. Explaining feelings too much, clarifying intentions constantly, reacting emotionally. It removes mystery, and mystery fuels respect. When you don't explain, people lean and they wonder. They invest. Silence makes them chase clarity, and whoever seeks clarity is already in the weaker position. This doesn't mean ignoring. It means responding with control. Less words, clear boundaries, no emotional leaks. Emotion is not weakness, uncontrolled. Emotion is. Silence contains emotion without broadcasting it. 4. Silence against manipulation. Manipulation feeds on reaction, guilt, urgency, fear. Answer now. Explain yourself. If you cared, you'd respond. All pressure tactics. The silent man breaks them all. He doesn't rush. He doesn't react emotionally. He doesn't explain under pressure. He waits. Waiting is lethal to manipulation, because manipulation relies on speed. Slow it down, and the trap collapses when you stay silent. Manipulators escalate, reveal frustration, show their hand. Silence forces truth into the open. This is why Machiavelli valued restraint. Restraint hides position. Aggression reveals it. 5. Why most men can't do this. Silence feels dangerous because it forces you to sit with discomfort. Most men fear being misunderstood, being disliked, losing approval, so they speak to soothe anxiety. But whose anxiety? Not yours. There's. Silence requires self-trust. You must believe. You don't need validation. You don't need approval. You don't need to be liked. That belief is rare, and rarity creates power. Silence is not about hiding. It's about positioning. You speak when it matters. You act when it counts. You stay silent when others expect reaction. And in that space, you become impossible to control. Silence is not just power. It is permanence. It's how you shape your life without saying a word. By now, you've seen the effects of silence in conflict at work and relationships against manipulators. But mastery requires one final shift. Long-term transformation. 1. Silence as identity. Most men speak to define themselves, to prove they're capable, to be understood. But those who master silence let actions define them. Your identity becomes unshakable because it is no longer dependent on explanation. Machiavelli's rule was clear. He who controls the narrative without speaking controls the world around him. You are not reacting to perception anymore. You create perception by how you exist in silence. 2. Silence and long-term dominance. Short-term power is gained through words. Long-term power is preserved through silence. Notice how people over time reveal themselves to the quiet observer. Allies show loyalty or opportunism. Enemies reveal strategies. Manipulators expose weakness. You gain leverage simply by withholding reaction. Silence converts observation into influence. 3. Silence and emotional immunotism protects your mind. Words drain energy. Explanations invite attack. Emotion can be weaponized against you. The silent man is untouchable. Anger slides off. Guilt has no target. Manipulation fails before it begins. Your mental state becomes a fortress. For silence and legacy is the ultimate truth. Most men are remembered by what they said. The few are remembered by what they did and didn't say. Silence preserves mystery. It forces respect. It magnifies every achievement. When you leave a room without speaking, people still feel your presence. When you leave life quietly, your legacy speaks louder than any explanation ever could. 5. Silence as strategic weapon. Use silence strategically. Pause before responding. Every delayed answer increases perceived value. Select words carefully. One sentence can outweigh 1,000. Reveal last. Allow others to expose intentions before showing yours. Observe constantly. Let actions replace assumptions. Never explain. Those who demand clarity are already weak. Silence becomes your shield, sword, and stage. 6. Why most men fail this test. Silence is uncomfortable. Most men fear being misunderstood, being ignored, losing control. They fill the void with words. They underestimate the gravity of stillness. But when you embrace it, you stand apart. You are calm in chaos. You are unshakable in pressure. 7. Silence and the power of expectation. Silence sets expectations. People expect noise. They expect reaction. They assume compliance. By refusing to participate in the expected, you control the narrative silently. Others become predictable. You become unpredictable. And unpredictability is strength. 8. Silence and control over yourself. Silence teaches mastery of the self. Patience over impulse. Observation over judgment. Restraint over emotion. Every word saved is energy preserved. Every silence maintained is power compounded. Those who cannot control their words cannot control themselves. And those who cannot control themselves are easily controlled by others. Silence is not absence. It is presence refined. It is strength unspoken. It is dominance invisible. Master it. Use it strategically. And watch as the world bends not to your words, but to your commanding quiet. In moments of chaos, silence is your secret weapon. When everyone else screams, reacts, or explains, you stand unmoved. Silence is easy in comfort. The real test comes when pressure mounts, when someone attacks you personally, when stakes are life-changing, when manipulation escalates, when fear spreads like wildfire. In these moments, your words betray weakness. Your silence signals strength beyond comprehension. 1. Crisis control. Crisis is a battlefield of emotion. Most men panic. They overreact. They justify themselves endlessly. The silent man assesses, observes, absorbs energy from shows. Every word you save in a crisis becomes leverage. Every action you take carries maximum weight because it is measured. Machiavelli would say, the wise man uses the storm, not fights it with noise. Your calm becomes contagious. Others defer to your presence without understanding why. 2. Silence and negotiation. Negation is psychological warfare. People reveal too much when talking. They leak intentions, fears, and desires. When you remain silent, they underestimate you. They overcompensate. They reveal their weakest moves. First pause is more powerful than 1,000 arguments. The quiet man never concedes. He makes the other person concede. Your silence becomes a tool for extracting truth, observing hidden motives, controlling outcomes subtly. 3. Silence and fear. For controls the weak. Loud threats, aggressive words, panic signals. They're designed to manipulate. They succeed only when you react. The silent man breaks the chain. He absorbs fear without responding. He makes others uneasy. He forces them to reevaluate strategy. Fear loses its power when met with calm. Silence magnifies confidence. Silence turns intimidation into your advantage. 4. Silence and observation. Every extreme scenario becomes a lesson in human nature. Who panics first? Who lies first? Who seeks approval first? Who manipulates first? The silent observer sees it all. The loud, reactive men only see chaos. Your restraint is a lens. Your quiet mind is the ultimate surveillance tool. 5. Silence and strategic leverage. In high-stakes scenarios, pause before acting. Wait for opponents to expose strategy. Choose timing carefully. Act when your silence has created tension. Let others speak more. Words are energy. Energy is power. Stay calm under provocation. The aggressive lose control first. React only when necessary. Restraint confuses and dominates. Your silence converts observation into authority, and authority into control over outcomes. 6. Why this is rare. Few men can maintain silence under extreme pressure. Emotions cloud judgment. Ego demands explanation. Fear pushes reaction. Those who fail speak. Those who speak lose leverage. Those who lose leverage are predictable, exploitable. Defeated, the silent man becomes unpredictable, untouchable, unstoppable. Extreme scenarios reveal truth about men. Those who rely on words, those who rely on silence. Silence is not avoidance. It is active strategy. Your quiet is your shield. Your observation is your sword. Your measured action is your dominance. Master silence here, and you control every high-stakes situation effortlessly. Silence is no longer a tool. It becomes your identity, a force that shapes how the world responds to you. The man who masters silence lives differently. His reputation precedes him. Without effort, his presence commands attention. Without words, his influence spreads quietly, but powerfully. His legacy is built on calculated restraint. 1. Silence. And reputation. Your reputation is invisible armor. Words can cheapen it, explanations, diluted emotions, can destroy it when you remain silent. People speculate about your intentions, they project fears and admiration onto you. You become mythic in perception. Machiavelli would say, let them wonder, let them hesitate. Mystery is authority. Silence creates intrigue and magnifies respect. To silence and influence is not about being heard. Loud voices attract attention, strong emotions sway only temporarily. Noise convinces, only the unaware. Silent man shapes outcomes invisibly. He nudges others toward decisions, he positions himself strategically. He manipulates perception. Without speaking, power does not announce itself. It radiates from presence, from silence, from discipline. 3. Silence and control of circumstances. Silence allows you to control timing and perception. People underestimate you, gain advantage. Opponents reveal their strategy first. Gather intel. You act with precision, conserve energy, maximize impact. Every action is amplified by what you did not say. Every pause becomes leverage. The world reacts first, while you remain composed. 4. Silence and emotional independence. Silence creates emotional autonomy. You are not manipulated by panic. You are not swayed by guilt. You are not controlled by approval. Your calmness forces others to regulate themselves around you. Your restraint sets standards for behavior in every interaction. This is true psychological power, not in force, not in cruelty, but in self-command. 5. Silence and strategic networking. In social circles and power dynamics, those who need validation are predictable. Those who are desperate over-explain. Those who react quickly give away leverage. The silent man navigates all, observes alliances, identifies weak links, positions himself influentially without performing. You do not dominate with volume. You dominate through calculated restraint. 6. Silence and legacy. Ultimately, silence shapes long-term influence. Your actions outlive your words. Your strategy outlives your immediate presence. Your reputation becomes legendary through mystery. Those who speak too much are remembered for trivia, mistakes, emotion. Those who stay measured are remembered for strength, clarity, mastery. Silence becomes your mark on history, a signal of control, mastery, and understanding. 7. Why this is the final test. Most men fail to embrace silence as lifestyle. They fear being misunderstood. They crave recognition. They cannot resist emotional reaction. The disciplined silent man sacrifices short-term validation for long-term authority. He becomes untouchable, unmanipulable, and impossible to control. This is Machiavelli's ultimate rule. He who controls himself silently controls the world silently. Silence is not absence. It is presence without performance. It is strength without aggression. It is dominance without explanation. Master silence in every scenario. From crisis to negotiation. From fear to observation. From influence to legacy. Become the man who moves without announcing, who acts without begging, who observes without reacting, who controls without needing permission. Your life becomes a living example of calculated restraint, mastery, and unstoppable power.